Hello and welcome. I've been spending a lot of time working on insulating the barn, and I'm getting close to having the entire shop insulated and closed in. But with winter coming, there are other jobs around the property. So I've also been spending some time working on our fall chore list. In this video, I'll show you some of the things that we need to do to get ready for winter, including adding gutter guards, making sure that the fireplace is ready to use, and stocking up on firewood. The first job to deal with is the water heater. It was recently replaced, and we didn't put the wrap on yet. That's a quick and simple one to knock out before starting on the rest of the tasks. Last year I tried adding some of these gutter guards under the arbutus tree, since that's the area that constantly gets filled with leaves. I bought one pack and installed it to see if it would really make a difference, and it definitely did. So this year I bought a couple more packs to do the rest of the gutters. These gutters really need some help. Over on the forgotten side of the house, the gutters have their own ecosystem. So I think it's time to do something about this mess. The gutter with the plants growing in it needs to be replaced. It's bent and leaking. So that's on my list of things to fix. So I won't add gutter guards to that section, but the rest will need to be done. These covers are fairly easy to install, but it does take some work to get them aligned and in place. But after a few I start getting the hang of it. And then I ran into these guys. I think they're called paper wasps, and are generally not all that aggressive. And with it being fall and starting to get a little colder, they're not that active. But I'm not taking any chances. So I'll give them a spray with some soapy water. This does a pretty good job of dealing with the nest. Once they're all gone, I get rid of the nest and install the gutter covers. Over on the other side of the house, the maple tree is starting to reach over the roof. So I'm going to trim off that branch. Branches like these can drag on the roof and end up wearing down a section prematurely. And anything above the roof only adds more leaves for the gutter covers to deal with. The gutters are all covered now, and I can see that we're getting some moss on the roof. The moss is in this pattern on the roof. It seems to be the outline of the arbutus tree. Whether the tree keeps the moss out of this area, or it creates the moss in this area. I'm not sure which. But either way, I need to deal with the moss. So the best method I've found was to use some laundry bleach mixed 1-to-1 with water in a spray bottle. Then you just spray all the moss. There's some moss on the barn roof too, and I'm going to have to get over there and do that someday soon. But first, I'm going to clean out the chimney to start getting the fireplace ready for the season. Before I actually clean the chimney, I have to get the fireplace ready. I have to remove and clean the baffle. And with that out of the way, I can go up on the roof and scrub the chimney with this brush. When filming this, I thought it would be cool to have the camera down there so we could see all the debris falling into the fireplace. Lucky for me, my wife was there to see this before it turned into a huge mess in the house. So if you're like me and didn't know you should leave the fireplace closed for this, then I'm here to let you know that it has the potential to make a huge mess in your house. After that near disaster was averted, I grabbed the shop vac and cleaned the fireplace out. With all that ash and creosote gone, I can inspect the bricks. We need to replace at least these two. And the manifold is warped, so I'll need to replace that as well. The bricks were broken badly enough that they were pretty easy to remove, and the new ones went in place nice and easy as well. The new manifold is a perfect fit. Hopefully that'll help the insert perform a little better this year. Now it's time to test it out with our first fire of the season. The fireplace is taken care of, but now we need to get some more wood. In our area, one of the forestry companies sells firewood permits and gives the money to charity. You drive out to one of the recently logged areas and you cut your own firewood. It's a pretty reasonable price, but it's a lot of work. Some people will split the logs on site and then truck it all back. But we have a splitter here, so I just load up some logs and bring them home for splitting. We'll need to fill the truck at least 3 or 4 times to provide enough wood to heat the house for the winter. I back the truck right up to the woodshed and unload the logs. Now I can use the splitter to chop it all up. I need to do some rearranging in here so that I won't block the kindling pile. So I pull it apart and do a bit of a restack in order to make it more user-friendly. Now we're ready for our next trip out to the woodlot, and then a couple more trips after that. But it sure is a lot cheaper than buying wood by the cord. We're also going to have to take a look at this pump house. It's in really rough shape. It's infested with rats and the floorboards are rotting. There seems to have been no thought given to keeping the wood away from the dirt when this was built. I plan to tear most of this down and make more of an access panel than a big room. The pump needs to be heated sometimes, and it should be insulated. Right now the insulation isn't doing much. For now I'm not going to be able to rebuild this whole thing, so it may end up being a spring project. We can shore up the insulation a bit and tough it out for one more winter before replacing this pump house. With all these tasks out of the way, I can get back to working on the barn. That's the priority for now, so I can try to get it insulated before we get too cold. With any luck, next week's video will be me celebrating the shop space all enclosed. If that sounds like fun, please subscribe and follow along. Thanks for watching.